What do you know about the TEAM program, Evelyn?
They help you with your homework.
Okay, anything else?
They give you food.
Team because I really like the feeling of having a mentor.
There I went to the University of Illinois down at Urbana-Champaign.
Yo solo quiero agradecerle a Erie House por ayudar a todos los niños de la comunidad.
I think I'm very proud
y
of
enfocarlos
being a TEAM alumni.
Now let me look at me. I mean, I've been able to do so much. Thanks to that little seed that was planted on me, that was education, and just better my life and better my future.
It was really something that the city was involved in, the bank and Erie House, and it was this kind of a partnership between public and private that got the program going. So it's been replicated, and I think successfully, in many of the other organizations. But we began the program quarter of a century ago.
Well, I was 3 when the TEAM program started, so I wasn't really around to witness it. But the story, as I understand it, was that in the early 80s, the dropout rate among youth in Chicago, primarily Latino youth, was alarmingly high, upwards of 50%. And Carolyn Newberry and Erie House noticed the need to support Erie House's youth in their quest to complete high school and then go on to college. And around the same time, the city was starting an Adopt a School program where corporations could adopt a school. And Northern Trust had adopted Wells High School. And they were working to tutor those kids and help them do pretty much the same thing that Erie House wanted to do. The organization on Wells High School's end was not optimal, and the program was having some serious glitches in terms of connecting the tutors with the students and really getting the students there on a consistent basis. So Erie House recognized that they could lend their support through the organizational side. So Carolyn Newberry started working with Marge Lundy, and they, in their minds, basically formed the concept for what is TEAM today. Instead of meeting at Wells, where Erie House's youth program was at that time, they decided to move the tutoring and mentoring program to Erie House. So in 1984, they moved the program officially to Erie House and founded what is the TEAM program. Also at the same time, we developed an ally at Wells High School, the math teacher, Mike Milkey, and he brought a lot of the students from Wells into the TEAM program. And it really grew out of that relationship between Erie House, Northern Trust, and Mike Milkey at Wells that the TEAM program was founded. And it developed from some employees from Northern Trust tutoring at Wells to whichever students want it, to what is the TEAM program today, which is still employees from Northern Trust, but also employees from all over the city tutoring one-on-one with students from all sorts of different high schools. It started with a group of juniors and seniors, then expanded to sophomores, and then freshmen, and now we're serving all the way down to 8th grade and a few select 7th graders. Really noticing the need before high school even to start supporting kids in their decision on where to go to high school, and then supporting them on the transition into high school so that they can make that successful transition and move on into college.
So my name is Jaime Rizzo. I've been at Erie House, I think, since I was like 3 or 4 years old. I actually started back up in the preschool, which is the computer lab now, back about 18 years ago. I was in TEAM in 2001, and then I graduated from the program in 2005 when I graduated from high school. And then from there I went to the University of Illinois down at Urbana-Champaign. I just graduated a couple weeks ago in May with a bachelor's in accounting. Something I really learned was the ability to network with other students and the mentors, and just kind of build your communication skills and just kind of get an understanding of why it is important to keep going with your education. It's something that I would look forward to in the future once I get all done with school finally and maybe start working, is to maybe come back and be a mentor and help students out and actually show them that I was able to go through the program. I was able to succeed in the program, go to college, finish, and I'm now able to work and be a mentor to them and just show them maybe my some of my struggles and some of the resources that I have to give to them.
Erie House y el programa TEAM para mí es como mi segunda casa, como no sé, como no tengo aquí mis papás ni mi familia, yo siento que es como mis papás que me ayudan y me ayudan a guiarlos por buen camino. Y tengo una hija también de 16 años, está en el programa TEAM. Ella también está muy contenta y ella habla de ir a la universidad. Y espero que también lo haga.
Okay, well, my name is Osvaldo Alvarez. I work actually here at Erie Neighborhood House. And I got involved with TEAM actually back in '98, I believe. And actually, it's a funny story. The way I got involved with TEAM is that I was starting a summer job somewhere else, and someone stole my bike. And then I went back to the Chicago Park District, and they sent me to Erie House. And I'm still here. Now, like the three people that I remember greatly were Maria Matias, she was a director. Mike Milkey, actually. He's now the superintendent of the Noble Street Schools. And he helped me a whole lot with different scholarships. And then my old mentor, Rosemary Deneen. She, I mean, it was funny. I mean, at first, well, it's a big generational gap. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, she's just gonna like hit me with a ruler. I mean, she looks old school. But just being with her and knowing who she was and then she getting to know me, it really, I mean, we made a great team, and actually to this day I still talk to her. Always being asked, how are your grades? Did you apply to school already? Have you looked into Ohio State? I mean, maybe that may be a possibility. I mean, all of these questions made it made me feel like it was expected from me to go to college. And if I wouldn't have gone to college, I would have felt like I was gonna let everyone down here at Erie House. So I guess building that expectation on me and me expecting that out of myself now is really what changed my life, because now, I mean, now let me look at me. I mean, I've been able to do so much thanks to that little seed that was planted on me, that was education, and just better my life and better my future.
Hello, my name is Araceli Martinez, and I was in TEAM from my freshman year to my senior year. I graduated in 2008. Now, I remained in TEAM because I really liked the feeling of having a mentor who was there to support you and give you a different perspective from a different stance in life, I guess you can say. So since I have graduated, I still remain involved with TEAM. I am a member of Team AMP, and I really like it just because I still have that emotional support, and I still have someone that I can count on and to give me advice and to help me with the whole process of adjusting to the whole college experience. Today my mentor is John Conneely, and he is one of the most awesome people I have ever met in my life. He's such a great mentor, and he's there for anything. Despite the distance that separates us today, it's still a perfect combination, and I love it. And Team AMP has helped me today with how well I have adjusted to college, and it has helped me maintain motivated and focus on my academics, and it has inspired me.
I come from an education background where I was the teacher, so I had to reach out and make an effort to get to know every single student out of 33 in my classroom, and then there were 60 others I taught. So when I came to Erie House, that was my intention, and that was really what I thought needed to be done. But as I got more comfortable with the job, I realized that was not necessary for me to make that connection with every student. I still make that effort, but what's been fantastic is I've noticed that each of the mentors has a very personal and close relationship with their students, and they make that connection and allow me to just facilitate the connection rather than make that connection. It's impossible for me to personally connect with 110 students, but it is not impossible for one mentor to connect with one student and do that every week and build a very close relationship. And it's been very humbling and very obvious over the couple of years I've been here that the students keep coming back to TEAM and Erie House not because of me and not because of TEAM, but because of their mentor. And the mentors keep coming back to Erie House not because of me and not because of TEAM, but because of their students. And that's been, along with humbling, it's been one of the most inspiring things to see, the genuine care that the mentors feel for their students and the genuine care that the students feel for their mentors. And those relationships always carry on past high school and past Wednesday nights. And that's why TEAM is able to make such a strong impact, because it's not just tutoring and it's not just big brothers, big sisters, it's both of those tied together. So not only are we mentoring them and helping them to shape their goals, but we're giving them access to their goals.
I work for Northern Trust, and every year Northern Trust has a volunteer fair. And I wanted to volunteer for something, and I went there, and the most interesting opportunity that presented itself was Erie House and TEAM. Just really sounded cool. The idea of working with high school students was very appealing. So I signed up for it then. This was 10 years ago. I discovered something the very first time I was here. I got two sophomore boys, and it just was a lot of fun. I didn't know what to expect, and yet I found these were really bright kids. They were here because they wanted to be, not because they had to be. And I asked them why they were here. One of the things was it kept them off the streets, which is something that hadn't occurred to me before. And I said, oh wow, that's pretty cool. I kept those first two kids for 3 years through sophomore, junior, senior year. Then I got two other kids, and now I've got the third set. One was a freshman, one was a sophomore. The sophomore just graduated. The junior is still here. Somebody once asked, why did you start this? And I said, because it was something I wanted to give back. I mean, I've been helped along the way by a lot of people. And the thing I never realized was I'd probably get more out of it than what I'm putting into it. I would have no contact with teenage Hispanic kids if it was not for this. And it's really just been an education to meet them, to talk to them, to learn about them. There's some great kids in this program. And I'm just real pleased that I got to know them.
At first, when I walked in, I was like, I'm getting a guy as a mentor. Can I get a girl? He was great. He would read the same books that I was reading at school. Me and Isaac, that at the end of the year, someone gets the mentor of the year. And so he harassed Rebecca. We wrote letters, and he got it. So we were happy about that. I talked to him, about school, options, college, but then also that life, about life, because sometimes you're a teenager, you might not have the communication with your parents, you might not feel comfortable talking to them about things, and then you have your mentor. After 4 years, I was 4 years with him, so after 4 years, we're able to establish that relationship where I could go ask for help with him. I didn't know if I was gonna go to college. I didn't know my options as well. My parents, with my older sister, they're like, why are you going to college? You're going to get married. You're just wasting money and all that. So I was able to share that with people like Rebecca. It says, no, you need to go to college.
The banquets have been going on ever since I came here in '85. So I think, it's the tradition of Erie House. Whenever we have something going, at the end we celebrate, and we have something for the celebration. So I remember the first one that I attended in '85, and since then it's been one every year.
I remember one of the very first TEAM scholarship dinners. And this was before, when it was almost impossible for us to find a speaker, to lead it, because it was probably the second year. And so they asked me to make the speech. I remember thinking at the time, the most important thing is that these kids can look back and say, as they're graduating from high school, they can look back and say, look, I set my mark to do this. I set my mark to graduate from high school. I had help along the way, but I did it. And if I can do this, then I can take the next step.
Oh wait, congrats on the 25th year anniversary of TEAM. I wish I could be there, but I can't. Summer school sucks, but it's fun.
And I would also encourage all the other students that are, graduating now, to give back to all those people who gave to you, and not to forget about Erie House.
Nos dio como estabilidad emocional de que él iba bien, por buen camino, y ahora estoy más orgullosa de que ya se graduó de la universidad.
But one of the major factors in making a difference was if they had an adult involved with them, non-family, non-parent, who took an interest and actually stayed involved with them.
I'm very grateful to all the people that work with students that, take a few hours out of their day to come and, to be with those students and to push them academically and, help them out. So I love TEAM.
My name is Evelyn. I'm 9 years old. My sister is in TEAM. My brother used to be in TEAM, and I can't wait to be in TEAM. I want to be there because I want to learn and I want to eat food.